Does fear and worry consume you? Or sometimes you just kind of lose yourself and you're not in present moment because you're worrying about the future or you're fearful of the unknown. It can get pretty tough. But we want to give you some ideas on how to overcome that.
I do think a lot of people worry and fear a lot of things, and these days we call it anxiety. Everybody seems to have an anxiety disorder, and paranoias, and I think sometimes we put it all in a ball, and a lot of people try to minimize it. When somebody starts talking about their fear and worry, others, all of us, and me included, try to get involved to try to minimize the fear because we don't want you to be afraid. But when you asked me the other day, what would your younger self say to you today? Like, what would you say to that person? And right away I said, don't be afraid, don't worry, things will work out. And I think it's because we spend a lot of time afraid of things and worrying about things, 99% of which will never happen.
And do you notice that if you think back in time, for those really big things that you were fearful about or worried about, it's like you don't even remember what they were?
Yeah, but in the moment, they're so huge.
They're so huge, right?
So huge
So
that you
huge.
make decisions based on these fears and worries that will never happen. So that's what I think is kind of sad. Like, it's such a big energy, that fear and worry. And especially these days, like, there's so much of it out there. And it's like, how can we help people get a grasp? And chill out a little bit, everybody.
Yeah, it's fear of the unknown or the fear of someone's reaction, the fear of, my finances, fear of a job, it can go on and on.
Fear I don't have enough, fear I'm not good enough, fear, like there's like a million of them.
So many.
And we're also, as a society, I feel like focused on what those things are that we're afraid of. That we can never be present. We can never be our true selves because there's always some fear that's leading the way.
Yeah. Now, this is what we would talk to our older selves, right? I mean, now I would say fear is just an illusion. You have nothing to worry about. You're always safe. Just be connected to who you truly are. But when you're in fear, would I have been able to listen to that advice? Because when you're in fear, or when you're in worry, when you're disconnected from your magnificence, can you even hear the words? Don't worry about it. You have nothing to fear. Breathe, relax.
I've mastered this before bed. So your affirmations help me before bed because that was my prime worrying time. Was when I went to bed and just lying there before I fall asleep. I go through all my lists of things I did today, everything I have to do tomorrow, and all the things I worry about, and what happens? I don't get a good night's sleep.
Yeah.
So I've been able to master this before I go to bed. I think about all the positive things, all the things I'm grateful for and blessed with, and I set the intention to have a great day tomorrow, and I have a good night's sleep. Good. Like, that is a new skill for me, people, and I would highly recommend it. But during the day, that's a little harder to do.
Yeah, because we get busy and you get out of alignment, and then going to bed is your quieter time. One thing, I was talking to someone recently, and they said, well, how do I get rid of that fear if it's there? Well, I was taught this a long time ago. Anytime I had a fearful thought, you have about 16 seconds before another fearful thought comes in. So you have 16 seconds to react, to dissolve that negative thought. So now what I do is, whenever I'm just doing whatever I need to do, if a negative thought comes in, I'm so aware of them. And then I will offer that negative thought to God. Or I would ask Archangel Michael to come and dissolve it. Or I'll ask for help to dissolve the negative thought. But what I have to do is ask for help to dissolve it. But before I do that, I have to be aware that the thought's there.
Yeah, because sometimes you're just making decisions on cruise control, going through your day, and you don't even know what's driving you.
Yeah, I think that's what all this self-healing has to do with. It's learning to become aware and present. And that's why there's so much talk about be aware, be present, because when you're in that present state, a negative thought comes in or a worry, you can spot it. Like, okay, I've been doing this work long, you've been doing it long. You can spot a negative belief right away, or negative thought. Wait a second, where's that coming from? And then I ask for help me dissolve this. It dissipates right away. And then I'm back to my present moment. But now we're moving into the holiday season, or maybe it's not the holiday season when you're watching this. So, you're getting busy with life, and then you're getting so busy you lose that connection to who you are. You're not going to notice negative thoughts or worries until they pile up, and you're so in it.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you're yelling at somebody who doesn't deserve to be yelled at. Like, I feel like that's what happens. Like, things pile up, and it's all of a sudden you explode somewhere.
Yeah.
And it's like, where did that begin? Where did that stop? But what can we do to like catch it early? If we catch it early, you said ask for help. Is there anything else we can do? Because I am noticing I can catch them now, but I always forget to ask for help to get rid of them. And I'm not 100% sure I believe I can do that.
Okay, well that's a deserving issue. I get that. It's practicing. Because when a negative thought comes in and you ask for help me dissolve this negative thought, you'll see it works. It always does, because we have to ask and then you'll receive. That is just physics. This is the way the universe works. You ask, you receive. You put out a blessing, you receive a blessing. You put out negativity, you receive negativity. So you have to kind of play with that and see, wow, that worked. I trust it. The more you trust it, the more you'll do it, right? And then you'll start to get more control over your thoughts. It's also practicing meditation. It's also using affirmations, breathing deeply. There's so many things.
Yeah.
Ho'oponopono.
Yeah.
EFT, emotional tapping, emotional freedom technique. So there's a bunch of things that you get in your toolbox. And what can I use? But I think it's that knowing that you have the control over this lifetime and not feeling like, and this is where I used to see myself. I felt like the world was happening to me, and I was just in survival mode, getting tossed in this curtain, tossed in that.
Yeah, that's where most of us are, and that's how we feel.
How is this life? How am I living?
Yeah,
I'm living. This person's mad and yelling. That person's going at me. This is my life. That's like. And then I'm like, this can't be. But that's what I was creating. So when we start to realize that we are very powerful beings, and we say, that's it, I'm going to change my life, and I'm going to start to really try to understand when these thoughts come in, that I have control over them, and I can ask for help, and I deserve to ask for help, right? And then practice that and see if that lightens the load. This is for people just really who don't feel like they're creating, but world is happening to them. Life is happening to them. Because when you start to create from within, then you are creating the life. It's coming from inward, outward.
Yeah,
and
you're driving the bus. That's what my friend would say.
And you're going to see small changes, but it's those little small changes that are oh so exciting.
Yeah.
Sometimes I deal with clients that are so negative. They could be in mental pain, physical pain, emotional pain. But they're in a totally different reality where they feel like such a victim. And sometimes it's hard to get through to them that they can create something different.
For sure.
And even when they start to change, and I can see it, there's a part of them that says, no, nothing's changed. But what are you talking about? You didn't spend 20 minutes talking about your negativity. You actually said some positive things in there.
Yeah.
I did? Yeah, you did, right?
Okay.
I mean, I see huge changes in you. I know I get changed like often. I'm always doing.
Well, I'm not as skeptical as I used to be about this stuff. That's for sure. I've learned a lot, and I hope after today's session you've learned that you're not alone. If you're out there having lots of worries and lots of fears, you're not alone. Most of us do. If you're looking for ways to help, connect with Brenda at www.sobrilliant.ca. She can help.
Thank you for joining us.
If you have any questions or comments, visit us at sobrilliant.ca.
Sending you lots of love and light. Until next time.